For over 2,000 years, Huashan has been regarded as one of the 5 great mountains of China and home to some of the most sheer, dramatic granite cliffs on Earth. With ancient Taoist temples clinging to razor-sharp ridges and 5 distinct and vertical summits to conquer, Mount Hua's landscape seems more like a scenic backdrop to legends and tales than it does real life. In this video, we're sharing a complete travel guide to our Huashan adventure. We'll take you to all 5 peaks and give you an authentic look at what it's really like to tackle the famous plank walk, known by many as the most deadly hike in China. Along the way, we'll share all the essential tips you'll need to maximize your visit, from where to stay, how to get here, and which cableways to take, to the best route through the mountain, and most importantly, how to actually book your tickets for the plank walk itself, because trust us, the process is not very straightforward for tourists. Let's kick off our adventure in the historic city of Xi'an, which is your most likely starting point to beginning your journey to Huashan.
We just made it over to the Huashan Bay railway station. That was a really quick 30-minute ride. Right now we're gonna head out and look for our driver. Thankfully, the hotel that we booked actually provides free transfers to and from the railway station. We'll let you guys know where we booked as soon as we get there.
We just made it to our hotel and we're staying at the Jianshan or Yuanshan Hotel, which we'll link in the description below, along with our Huashan entrance tickets. We've got such a cozy stay here and we've got such a killer view from our room. It was only like a $3 upgrade a night for this, and it's so insane that we get to see the mountains right in front of us. And in total, we only spent like $30, not even, per night here.
But for the rest of the night, we will be taking it easy, ordering in some takeout, getting a rest, because tomorrow we are going to be starting our trek up Huashan bright and early, and the route that we're taking is a little bit more taxing than what most people will do, but we'll explain why tomorrow. We feel like now is a good time to explain how you reach the top of the mountain. There are 2 entrances/exits to consider when purchasing your tickets if you're taking the cableway up, north and west. Regardless of your route, the process is the same. Enter through the main visitor center, take a bus to the base of either cableway that you booked, and begin your journey to the top. Technically, you can also hike up the mountain instead of taking either cableway, but we don't recommend it because it's just not worth it. You're probably asking, but how do I decide which entrance to take? Well, remember how we mentioned there are 5 peaks at Huashan? They're all at various elevations, with the north peak being the lowest and the west peak being around the middle. As the name suggests, the north cableway takes you to the north peak, while the west cableway takes you to the west peak. You can probably guess which of the 2 entrances is most popular. Heading up, the west cableway allows you to mainly be hiking at a decline, saving you a lot of energy, but it is significantly busier. Technically, you can go up and down the same cableway, but this is usually only for seniors or less able-bodied people who don't want to visit every peak. Completing the one-way route takes at least 4 to 5 hours, and that's only if you're not doing the plank walk. Originally, we were planning on going up to the north peak and down the west to avoid the crowds, but we found out that the plank walk is located much closer to the west peak, meaning by the time we got there, especially with the long and strenuous climb upwards, it would have been quite late. And if you're planning on doing the plank walk, getting there earlier in the day is critical to guarantee yourself a spot. If you guys have any questions about the route options, leave a comment and we'll do our best to answer them. We'll also link tickets and our stay in the description below. There's actually several flights of stairs that you actually need to walk up in order to get to the cableway itself. And there's actually a fun way that you can get up and avoid most of the stairs. They built this like mountain coaster that you can just ride your way up. I mean, you gotta give it up to them for finding new and creative ways to avoid climbing stairs. Now, if you wanted to, you can definitely take that if you didn't want to walk the stairs. However, though, if you want to ride it back down, which honestly looks way more fun, you will have to come back out through the west gate in order to ride it back down.
Okay, we're on the cable car now, finally, and it's gonna be a 20-minute ride, so thankfully we got it all to ourselves. There was a group coming right behind us, but the lady just like shuffled us right in so we could get it for just the two of us, and it's looking so amazing right now. Oh my goodness. These mountains are just covered in lush greenery. It's insane.
I think this might be the first time we've ever taken a cable car that didn't just go straight up. We've been descending for so long now, deep into the valley, before going all the way up to the west peak. The views here are absolutely gorgeous. I am just still so stoked that we have this to ourselves.
Well, we're here at the top of West Peak, which is considered the most beautiful peak in Huashan. It's shaped like a lotus flower, which is why I think that Huashan gets its name, Flower Mountain. It is quite small of a peak. It's literally just a massive boulder, and it was kind of fun getting up to the top because you had to climb chains with little carved out steps in the stone. When we got off the cable car, we did see quite a pretty temple. It is quite Taoist here throughout the entire mountain area. You're going to see different temples, shrines, red ribbons throughout. And I think over there, that is the South Peak, which is the tallest peak in all of Huashan. I think we're going there next.
There's a photo op here where for 60 yuan you can be harnessed to this not so floating rock for a fun perspective shot. Another thing we wanted to mention before heading over to our next peak is the food situation on Huashan. Like almost every other established tourist destination in China, there's an abundance of food stalls, so don't worry about packing food with you.
How is it that one of the first things you see when you come off of the Cableway is a fried chicken shop? We came a little bit back down the west peak towards the central area where the cable cars are. And from here, we're gonna now climb up to the south peak. It's gonna be quite a long journey. It looks pretty steep, pretty high up there. But yeah, we're gonna enjoy it, take it slow. The crowds are thinning out here. So I feel like most people don't wanna climb upwards that much, which is good for us. As we make our way over to the southern peak, we feel like now is a good time to explain the recommended route. If you're coming up the west peak, then your route should go west, south, east, middle, and north to finish things off. If you're coming up the north, then just do everything in reverse. A quick note is that the middle peak isn't really its own summit, as it's more of a connection point between the four major peaks. There are so many more people here than I had expected. I think it's because the viewing area is so tiny. There's actually not as many people as the west peak, but because how small it is, it feels like a lot.
I thought this lineup was for the view and because the viewpoint itself was so small, but it's actually just so people can take a picture with the rock.
If you didn't care much about visiting the highest point in Huashan and prefer avoiding the crowds on the peak, then our advice is to head straight for the plank walk. It's a fully optional experience, but the views from the lookout at the plank walk were our favorite of the entire day. The best part of all, it's a lot more spacious here, so you won't need to stand shoulder to shoulder with the crowds. You can see in the distance just how busy it is up at the South Peak.
Right now I'm in line to try to get tickets for the plank walk because they do have a daily and hourly limit to how many people they let on. And the plank walk was something that I really wanted to do here in Huashan. It's like an adventurous activity, sort of like a Via Ferrata in a way, where you're tied, harnessed in, and you're tied by carabiners while scaling the side of the mountain on a really narrow wooden plank. So I really hope that we can do it. But while I was standing in line, Jason went to go get some light bites. It's about 11 o'clock right now, so we are starting to get hungry. And this thing is pretty much the exact same thing that we had in our last destination in Zhangye. So there should be some beef inside. It's a little bit colder, but I find this one is a little bit more filled with meat in it. Super tasty.
Thankfully, we did manage to get tickets, but the process was more complicated than we expected. So while we go line up and get geared up, let me explain how the system works. The cost was 30 yuan, and surprisingly it was cash only, which if you know anything about China is highly unexpected. The experience begins every 2 hours because that's how long it takes to do the plank walk itself. Not because it's that strenuous, but because it's an out and back hike, and with the 30 to 40 some people that do it at one time, traffic really builds up. You might be thinking, well, can I just reserve a spot instead of standing in line for the entire 2 hours? Unfortunately, no. Well, not for tourists anyways. There is a QR code that you can scan to pre-book a time slot, but this needs to be done several days in advance, and you need to have a Chinese ID to register, so for all the tourists, it means we need to wait in line. Spots are highly limited, so once the spots have been filled, you might not make it until the next time slot, meaning you could wait for 4 hours, and the experience is only scheduled about 5 to 6 times a day depending on the season, so just keep that in mind. They have lockers to put your things in, and you cannot bring an action cam, selfie stick, or anything loose with you unless it's physically strapped to you like a head or chest mount, which is kind of weird considering you can bring your phone and use it as much as you want. So we did our best to film considering we had to climb with one hand, so without further ado, here's our experience. Are you ready?
Ready?
Let's go!
Hope this is secure.
Yeah, this is actually a really weird mechanism. Look at this, there's a little gap in there, but it's not enough for the rope to go through. But then it is just enough for you to pass through this metal thing right here. We should always have two though, because you're supposed to have one as backup. So technically this is not the safest thing. No, this is so sketchy.
Oh my gosh.
Look at this view. That is the fall and the insane view. This is so funny. There's literally a big platform area, so everyone waits. So you have to line. So everyone gets here and then we all go back. Crazy.
It's all one way, right? So
Everything's one way.
that was a lot shorter than we had expected. It was also a lot less scary than I thought it was going to be. We did a level 3 via Ferrata in Switzerland, and that was sketchy. This in comparison was a nice easy breeze, although looking down was pretty sketchy as well. But we're just waiting out here on this massive platform because we're going to go out and back. So that means we have to wait for an entire group to finish, and then we're going to get back up in the same direction.
Before making the hike, we want to grab a little snack. We have a little stall here. And we got some breaded chicken. It actually looks pretty bomb. Look at that. How's it taste?
Crunchy.
Yeah?
It's so good though.
That's so good. Dang. Okay. We'll eat and then we'll go up. If you don't manage to get tickets over at the plank walk, there is a similar experience that you can do over here on the East Peak. It's called the Hawk's Turn, and it gets you over to the chest pavilion. It's actually a really gorgeous view. And as you head down, this first initial part right over here, it's a near vertical descent. So it's actually quite freaky. But once you get there, then you can unharness, and then you can walk all the way down to the chest pavilion. I think this is a great alternative, and the crowds here are significantly fewer.
Okay, so now we're heading down to the Central Peak, and it's mostly gonna be downhill from here. Central Peak isn't really its own peak, it's actually an extension of East Peak, but it is a junction point between the north, the west, and the east. So that's how we're gonna reach the North Cable Car, and it's gonna be pretty easy breezy from here. Oh, and by the way, you remember that chain ascent that we had to do at West Peak, which was optional, by the way? There is one at East Peak that is so much worse. It's actually a bit of an overhang, and I see kids doing it, so kudos to them. It is so much longer than the one that we did, but again, also optional. There is a staircase right beside it.
I can see the North Cable Car from here, and as tempting as it is to hop on there right now and get some rest, because I am exhausted, because that walk down was no joke. Honestly, if you guys are doing it from the North Peak, good for you guys, because that is one tough climb. But our climbing is also not done yet, because we do actually need to climb up to the North Peak. There's no way we can miss that. It's a tiny bit of uphill. You just passed the cable car, so we'll go up there and then we'll head back down.
Definitely getting very tired. As you can see, my face is getting really red, but we are here at North Peak. So we visited all 5 peaks today, and we're finishing up our day right here. It's not like an amazing pavilion, but you do get to see this gorgeous mountain in the background. And it has been a gorgeous day for us to explore Huashan. I'm super excited to be heading back down and rest my legs.